gentlemen.
The biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Is this Bell, Biv, and DeVoe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know if they had broken up at that
I
point. It was
listened
just
to
Bell.
this at 6:47 a.m. every Friday on the way to practice. No, every morning. It wasn't to Fridays. Fridays was throwback, but every morning in Pittsburgh, for some reason, Bell Biv DeVoe Poison came on at 6:47 a.m. as I'm pulling into the parking lot to go to work.
I played this on the tape player growing up.
The tape player.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Welcome back to the program. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us. Our program also brought to you in part today by the folks at Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. And also want to remind you to throw those nominations in for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week program that we have right here on this very program. You nominate the person who does an awesome job in youth sports in your neck of the woods, and then we honor them on the air. And they also get $250 to Beehive Meals. Somebody who's going that extra mile for the youth sports in your area, nominate them right now, kslsports.com/contests, and you'll be able to get them that recognition that they deserve. We throw it all up on the socials, and we love them up on the air, too, so it's a really, really cool program. All thanks to the folks at Beehive Meals. All right. Jeremiah Jensen was out in Santa Clara, California for the Super Bowl. JJ, I may have been mistaken, but I know you've covered a lot of Super Bowls. This sounded like for you that this one was like, it actually felt like a game of some fans on both sides and not as corporate as we've seen before.
Yeah, well, you know how diehard Seahawks fans are, right? I mean, they're so diehard, they've got their own names, the 12s. Yeah, I was really surprised, too, because I have been to some other Super Bowls, and you don't see as many people wearing their jerseys walking in, but the fans showed up. I mean, there's a lot of Seahawks fans wearing their gear. There's a lot of Patriots fans, and those are two proud franchises that won a lot of games in recent years, so I get that. But, yeah, it was a really good environment. It was a great Super Bowl environment, not as corporate as it didn't feel as obviously it's always going to be corporate. You know, there's plenty of that going on, trust me. But the crowd was loud at all the appropriate times in the stadium, and you felt that before the game, after the game. Seahawks fans are all over the place celebrating. It was a great environment for a Super Bowl.
You work with one of those 12s every day, a psychopath Seattle guys.
Why is he wearing a Mariners hat today?
Hey,
I'm sitting next to
what are
him
you
right
doing?
now.
It's like just a, you know, I didn't want to gloat. You know what I mean? Like this is a side gloat. You know, I'm not going to go full.
You've had this.
You would have had your color rush jersey on.
Seattle fan stuff that you've been doing for the last month is so ridiculous. You knew this was going to happen. You knew they were the favorite.
Alex put 50
I
don't
want to rub it in. Like I'm so worried about how the feelings of other fan bases right now. I just don't want to overdo it.
One of our producers, Sean Croshaw, walked in with his San Francisco 49ers jersey on, loud and proud. I was like, settle down.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah,
why aren't you wearing yours? Come on now, enjoy it.
Well, number one,
he didn't enjoy the game yesterday.
Well, and it
wasn't a great game.
I didn't want to go 2 days in a row wearing the same Seahawks gear. You know what I mean? Like it would, and there's some nacho cheese on it.
Did you spill barbecue sauce all over it?
It's at the dry cleaner. You know, I got to get it out for next year. But as you watch this one go down, it became the exact thing that everybody feared that it would be, which is not a very good game in favor of the Seahawks. Their defense takes over. Were you surprised that all of the things that were said about this game actually came to pass?
No, tell our audience how long I've been telling you, Alex, that this was exactly.
You were like, it's going to be a 10-plus point victory. The defense is going to dominate. Drake May he's at the Super Bowl too early in his career. I don't know if he'll ever get back, but all of it happened. I don't know.
Nothing about this game surprised me at all. Right from the get-go, the Seahawks were better in all three phases, even on offense. I know the Patriots were more explosive this year. But here's the truth. If you go back and look at the Patriots' schedule, it wasn't exactly juggernauts, while the Seahawks had to win the NFC West, which I don't want to hear any debate. There's no better division right now in the NFL. I think that 3 of the 4 top teams in the league were in that division this year. That's how good that division was, and they won that division. They beat the Rams twice. The Rams were really good this year and had the best offense, I think, in the entire league, the most explosive offense, and it showed because their quarterback, Matt Stafford, won the MVP. So the Seahawks ran a tougher gauntlet. They were more prepared for this. They have more veteran players that have been in these positions before. I just think they were a well-oiled machine. And the Patriots, while it's a great story and they're way ahead of schedule than everybody else thought they would be at this point in time, it was just too much. That Seattle defense is so loaded with talent. The offense, Kenneth Walker was the Super Bowl MVP at running back. Jackson Smith-Njigba wasn't even a major factor in the game, and it didn't matter. Sam Darnold took care of the football. That's all he had to do. Take care of the football. Let your defense do their work. 5 field goals, who cares? Who cares? 5 field goals, by the time you get those field goals, you're up 15-0 or whatever it was. And, sometimes we've been in this era where we overthink things, guys, about going for it on 4th down and just take the points. And Seattle took the points in the first half, and it paid off. So Seattle did everything right. They deserved to win this game. They were the best team in the league this year. They're the Super Bowl champions. And if they can keep that core together, I know there's some older guys on that team and there's some issues, with payroll, then the Seahawks could be the favorite again next year. They're loaded.
Man, I just want to know, is that old statement, defense wins championships, still true? Right? This Seattle defense was awesome. Tell me about kind of, what the vibe in the stadium was after watching how dominant Seattle's defense was. I know we've been talking about them, but they really showed true last night.
Isn't the dark side a great nickname?
That is a great name.
And you know what? What do you think of when you think of the dark side? You think of fear. You think of something scary. Mm-hmm. That defense is scary. That defense is something to be feared. That's a Patriots offense that was loaded with talent. Drake May, Stephon Diggs, Keyshawn Booty. They had good running backs. I'm surprised at how they got manhandled up front. The offensive line just got absolutely destroyed, giving up 7 sacks. But that Patriots offense was the most explosive offense in the NFL this year. And that Seahawks defense just absolutely dominated them. I couldn't believe how frustrating it was for the Patriots getting anything going on offense. Until they obviously waited. They didn't score until the 4th quarter. But, how many times – I'd have to go back and look. I don't have the information in front of me. How many times did the Patriots even cross midfield?
Right.
That defense is so dominant.
Well, they don't give up anything. Yeah, they hadn't passed – I think it was like the Seahawks 43 – they did like on the second drive of the game. They got to the Seahawks 43, and then they didn't get into their side of the field until like 4 minutes left in the 4th quarter, whatever it was.
There you go. Crazy, right? So, and also special teams played a role in that. You got to give them credit for that. And I talked to Scotty G today, and we discussed that point that they spent money on their kicker and their punter. Mm-hmm. And in the biggest game of the year, their kicker set an NFL record for field goals in a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So the money paid off there, and the punter pinned them deep how many times?
Oh man!
And then they had Rashid Shaheed in the run in the return game.
Yeah, even on the all-out blitz, he still pinned him down there at the
exactly.
Yeah, that was awesome.
How big of a factor was that, guys? So the Seahawks paid attention to every detail, but the special teams enhanced what the defense was doing. It made it a lot easier for that defense to pin their ears back and put Drake May in a lot of tough situations, and they did. They were all over him. Not only was it the 7 sacks, but the pressures, and eventually Drake May was forced to turn the ball over in the second half, and that's how Seattle finally broke through and broke away, were those turnovers. So the Seahawks, that defense is just phenomenal. If they can keep that defense together next year, and still have the ability to improve that offense, I think Sam Darnold's confidence is going to grow from this experience. Kind of got the monkey off his back, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when Steve Young won a Super Bowl, some of these guys that get criticized or had a rough start to their career, they finally break through and win that game. Like, you can breathe a little bit and you can be yourself, and the confidence you gain from that's pretty enormous. So this Seahawks team looks like they're built for, I know, the NFL, anything can change, but if they can keep this defense together, who's scoring on these guys moving forward?
So we just saw a weird stat that they put up here, because the Sam Darnold and Kenneth Walker III are at Disneyland today.
Disneyland.
Of course.
It's crazy that they get there the next morning and they did this parade down Main Street. And
Private jet life.
Oh, listen. I'm surprised that those guys were able to make it, and they're standing on a float going down Main Street. They may have seen 4 Mickeys in front of them just because of how the party might have gone. But Kenneth Walker III's dad, Kenneth Walker Jr., has never seen an NFL game in person. That was his first game last night. That blows my mind.
That's insane. Apparently he doesn't like crowds or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he gets
whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he picked a good one to go to, right?
I think it's his son, the MVP.
Yeah. So and he was kind of hidden up in. I was like, they got to get him better seats than that. But maybe that kind of explains it. He didn't want to be front and center with all that. But at the end of all this, how is Sam Darnold going to be remembered in this for this Super Bowl?
A Super Bowl winner, and when you consider where his career arc was when he came into the league as a number 2 overall pick, and it didn't work out with the Jets, like every quarterback that's ever played for the Jets, outside of even quarterback. I mean, how many quarterbacks have been successful there, going way back? So he was in a situation that's tough. And Sly, you talk about this all the time. We talk about the league. It's not about where you go. It's not about when you go. It's where you go. And he went to the wrong place, and there's no doubt about that. And I give him a lot of credit for fighting his way back, being willing to be a backup in some places while he got there. And even after last year, imagine what it was like to be Sam Darnold and you win 14 games with the Vikings, and because a playoff game doesn't go your way or doesn't go well, they're like, see ya, we're going to go with a rookie instead. I mean, how insulting is that? And look what the Vikings did this year. Absolutely nothing. Their offense was terrible. Sam Darnold mattered in Minnesota, and he goes to Seattle. They're desperate for that quarterback, was kind of the missing piece. And he goes and wins 14 games and wins the Super Bowl. So that's what Sam Darnold's going to be remembered for, is being that guy that came in and helped them get to that point, because without his solid play, and it wasn't perfect all year, he wasn't the best quarterback in the league. He didn't have to be.
Right.
Like we talked about, they got the dark side. They just needed a quarterback that was competent and skilled, and then in the most important times, took care of the football. The Seahawks had 0 turnovers in the postseason. 0.
Yeah.
I believe they're the first NFL team to go through a postseason and win a Super Bowl without turning it over.
We expected Sam Darnold to throw like a pick or two, too. We were like, well, he throws interceptions.
That was his reputation in the league, right? He couldn't trust him. He throws picks, and that's what happened to him in the playoff game last year. He didn't play flawless, but he took care of the football and allowed that defense to do their thing. He's going to be remembered for his arc, for overcoming all that and becoming a Super Bowl champion, and he deserves every bit of it.
Well, so that's the question going forward. Is Sam Darnold? You know, Alex and I were just talking about Sam's on 1-year deals and all this, and so, you know, being a Super Bowl champion, as you said, the amazing year he had in Minnesota, getting this good deal with Seahawks. Is he more of a system guy here? The system that he had out there with Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota and now over here in Seattle, or is he his own guy? Can he go to any system and make this work? Is he a QB of the future? Everybody's trying to line him up against other NFL QBs or NFC QBs. Who's the QB of the NFC? Is he one of those top tier QBs?
That's a great question. I think he's got to do it for more than 1 year, right? This is 2 years in a row that he's done this, honestly. People want to disregard what happened in Minnesota. That was a massive – I mean, Minnesota didn't do that well or after he left, so right. You give him credit for that. This is 2 years in a row. He's won 28 games in 2 years. How many quarterbacks in NFL history can say they won 28 games in 2 years? So you have to give him his credit. And you have to consider him among the elite. Now, is he top 5 in the league? Does he crack the top 10? I don't know about that. I'd have to get a list in front of me and kind of go through it. Probably not yet, but he doesn't have to. And he'd be foolish to go off and say, I'm going to go out and prove that I can do this anywhere, because he's already had that opportunity in his career, and he didn't do it in New York. He didn't do it in Carolina. He was a backup in San Francisco. So Sly, you understand this more than anybody. When you can get into the league and you can find a place that works, that you're comfortable in, that you can be successful in, grass isn't always greener. And so if I'm Sam Darnold, I want to stay in Seattle for the rest of my career, at least as long as I'm effective, as long as I can do it, as long as they want me. Right. Because that defense is so good. And Jackson Smith and Jigma's young. Kenneth Walker's still relatively young. Mm-hmm. I want to stay there and build with those guys. That offensive line is great. Where else would you want to go? If it's a money issue, I guess you can go chase that if that's what's important to you. But Sam Darnold's found a home, and I think for the Seahawks slide, it's a perfect fit for them. Right. They don't have to go out and try to get find their franchise guy or spend a first-round pick on a quarterback.
Right.
Go draft somebody that's going to help you in the trenches. Go draft somebody that's going to help with whatever weakness you can find that's going to make you better. You've got a quarterback. Is he the all-pro? No. Who cares? He's solid. He gives you exactly what you need. So I think it's beneficial for both the Seahawks and Sam Darnold for him to stay there and be their quarterback moving forward.
JJ, real quickly before I get you out here, I'm looking at the odds for next year's Super Bowl. Seahawks are number one. They have the best odds. Right behind them are the Los Angeles Rams. And I don't hate that pick at all. The Patriots
I don't either.
The Patriots are number 6 down the line. They have the Bills even ahead of them, the Eagles ahead of them. Now, I will give you a thought here because last year at this time, and a better put, I think, what was it, 50 grand on a 60 to 1 odds for the Seahawks, and he ended up just, making a mint yesterday because of a great, just kind of probably a throwaway bet. I don't know who has $50,000 to throw away, but the teams that have the same odds the Seahawks did last year. You ready for this list?
Browns.
Yeah.
The Steelers, the Vikings, the Colts, the Giants. Those are the ones that have the Seahawks odds from last year. So who's going to be that team this year? And it doesn't have to be any of those that I just mentioned, but real quickly, who?
Well, give me that list one more time. I'll tell you of that list who has any chance next year.
So it's the throw the Commanders in there too. Commanders, Steelers, Vikings, Colts, Giants.
How about the Colts?
Colts.
Yeah, why not?
The Colts were really good this year until Daniel Jones got hurt. Remember that?
Yep.
They had the best record in the AFC early in the season. His Achilles goes out. They have a couple tough games. All of a sudden, their season's done. So I don't know what his status is going to be next year, but even if they go find somebody similar to Daniel Jones to step in and play that role, the rest of that team looks really good. You got one of the best running backs in the NFL. Of that list you gave me in that range, I would look at the Colts. And the AFC's wide open, guys. Like, remember, the Chiefs, they're not the same team they were. And their quarterback is going to be overcoming an ACL injury, right? So the AFC's wide open. I think it's much more wide open than the NFC is. I think you mentioned the Seahawks, Rams. If the 49ers can get healthy, maybe they got a shot. Maybe the Eagles find a way. The list of teams that can win the NFC next year is short because the top is so elite right now. The AFC is wide open. Why not the Steelers?
JJ, we got to get out. We got Jazz basketball coming up. We'll see you tomorrow, man. Safe travels.
Sounds good.
There you go. Jeremiah Jensen. We're going to be back. More Jazz basketball next.